America done for? Nothing. Old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to give her poor dog a bone. I lied. She gave the dog a steak and gave the bones to Negroes. Neck bones, pink teeth, ham hocks, chitlins, guts. Made us gut eaters, whiskey consumers, dope users, Uncle Tom niggas. That's what America done for me. Made me a robot, a Frankenstein, a puppet. What has America done for me? Nothing. What made me a zombie? Integration, segregation, humanization, emasculation, frustration, and complete annihilation. If you are seeking a first education, we are taught to hate ourselves. America, America, why did you bring us to America, America? Why, America, America? Why did you bring us to America, America? Why did you bring us here?
I'm on the block that the streets is on, sidewalk with the Cheech and Chong. The beats is on, shrine work in the reach the song. Two socks with my sneakers on, got my sneakers on. Tupac when the beef is on, no meat, now the beef is gone. Get my vegan on, one leaf till the leaf is gone. Puff up till the reef is gone. I'm on the block that the streets is on, sidewalk with the Cheech and Chong. The beats is on, shrine work in the reach the song. Two socks with my sneakers on, got my sneakers on. Tupac when the beef is on, no meat, now the beef is gone. Get my vegan on, one leaf till the leaf is gone. Puff up till the reef is gone. Book of life, get my reading on. Bible, please let me read along. What's the reason on? Cowboy shells, I can read a song. Hold your hand, I can read your palm. I can read your palm. I play the game like the season on. Sales on with the season on. I put the season on. Salmon, rice and pizzas on. Vegan cheese, we don't need Dijon. We don't need Dijon.
Olojorobo, Olojuina, Oba Koso, Olufira, Oba Heavy Oso, Arara, Oba Shango.
Baba Tahir, last name RBG. For the next 20 years, they gon' follow me. Way too humble at times, biters be banking on it. Now I'm thinking on it when I cut on the beat. And the verse starts spilling like a rooster at bar. I used to set off the cipher, now the hype is the street. Praying I would give it up. Yeah, I'm hip to your wishes. Hatred's a sickness and I can detect it without speech, hater. More flavors than some now laters. Small country town invader, profound, powerful innovator. Stay on the road like a Winnebago racing at Talladega. I major alley traders like a skater would. How I'm doing, I'ma say I'm good. Even if I wasn't, I'd never admit it. I'm seasoned and gifted and black. Every rap got apps getting you lifted. Classic flowetry, picturesque with it, so vivid, homie, you know it's me. Who else sound like liquid gold and killing shows, repping for the indigos? Priests, priestesses, and practitioners. Marathon finishers, jealous heart diminishes. You think I'm braggadocious with it cause you bogus. Get it only when it's given to you cause it ain't living through you.
Go.
I got the power I share. Hell, all I do my red. Flow change like oh yeah. To my fans, more do bread. Traffic and African rituals. I know it's far from typical. I know they calling it mythical. I just be calling it mystical. Whoa. Black magic with white fabric, they petrified. I see through the ancestors' eyes. You can't see it cause you rest your eyes. My chain hang for Ogun. That blame's lit, I'm in tune. That high giant is in the air, boy. That smoke fills up that room. I'm consumed. I laugh at y'all. Grant my people with good health. Don't talk about it, but I live it, boy. You grant my folks with plenty wealth. I walk the path of that shoe. Then they reciting no do. 2 mouths up and 2 mouths down. Got balance mid in my view. Oh yeah, bring your wind to change. Power down, I share. Arun Miller, give me purpose. Power down, I share. Throw my obies to my head. Power down, I share. Read my Odu, Ifa daily. Power down, I share. Egun got me. Ori got me. Olarun got me. Soru got me. Ebo got me. Ajuban got me. Baba Wa got me. Iyawa got me. I go Obi, I go Obi, I go Obi, yo. I go Obi, I go Obi, I go Obi, yo. I go Obi, I go Obi, I go Obi, yo. Ile Mokio, Ile Mokio, Ile Mokio, Aki, I am the sun in the moon. Still, I feel like a June. Ori prayer in the morning. Hands up all around. 4 pots for a goon. See my grits in the room. Throw the shells to the plate. Menchie and Della goon. 5 chains on my neck. The elite gauge they reflect. Y'all speak, oh yeah, cool. Translation as death. Sprinkle a little I J. All the room for an E Ray. Akina Moran, I'm blowing my hand. I'm pitching the sand. Whoa. Bring the Obi, stand with my elite Loki. Warrior type, I'm like a trophy. Shango power, come approach me. That's thunder, for the spirits I conjure. Wake 'em up from that slumber, right? You just call my number. Oh yeah, bring your winds to change. Power down, I share. Arun Miller, give me purpose. Power down, I share.
This Tahir RBG, repatriation and situation. I just want to let y'all know I hear all that shit y'all talking. You know in your heart of hearts you can't fuck with this. You knows that. Why I'm tripping, y'all knows that. Let's start talking, let's get into it. Whoa, hold up, what they talking about? I hear you. Matter of fact, fuck all that they talking about. Fuck all that yakety yak, wanna run they mouth. Machete clappity clap, oh goon run 'em out. Cross the border, show the arrow, hunt 'em down. Babaloo, I ain't clean off, it ain't nothing now. 30,000 in the air, my phone still on. Writing rhymes, earphones, with the kill on. Get the skill on, little homie, the real on. EI's getting the chill on, watching me get my meal on. Take a stand in the wreck, get my build on you. You disrespect the whole set and get your still on. Ma do where if you can, get your bill on. Debit card swipe, but performance is getting tighter. I'm older and plus I'm not to the motion it I sip on. Most of y'all skip the protocol. Trip on forces and slip, bust your head. Train of thought wreck, you there, didn't do what Joey Goon said. Now it's cold red, skeptics is begging to get my heel on. Back like I never left, proper like a sweater vest. I'm the ancestors' favorite rapper, Megadeth. That's true. No guitars though, just a hard flow. That's true. Nicest priest on these beats as far as bars go. A Josha Eli's on my chest as far as scars go. Stars go, the far go, stand and rock for photo ops. Bypass their own hood like they don't know the block. Faking culture shots like they forgot them struggles. All the fuddle when that muzzle blast cats be like. Suffering succotash beats, concrete, street with sophistication. Repat nation, we deep, baby. Plus RBG certified, fly like the butter with the golden box cutter. Hello, yeah. She's so flirtatious, smile like the Nile, her booty so outrageous. Classic yet refreshing, just to know you is a blessing. Peach snaps in the flukes, here's a toast to patience. Oh yeah, a closed mouth don't get fed. She came to bed and woke up with your moja on her head. I just wanna see the fam blossom. Inhibitions, I lost them, I'm feeling awesome. My shit. Oh man, Sundiata, I told you they weren't fucking with me, car.
You need to ask yourself that. Why do you eat food? You need to ask yourself, what is food? Because we got consumables, as acidic, dry, whatever you want to call it, and then we got alkaline, wet, real food. We got fake food and we got real food. Now, you growing up in this world, I don't know how old you is. If you my age, you 20, you 28, 29, we is the last ones to know what real is. These jits don't know what real is because they being raised on the fake. So they put the germ in the seed. Roundup ready. They put the germ in the seed. They got fake seeds. So I'm telling you, this is war.
Yeah.
This is fucking war. You got to learn the real, and you got to decipher from the fake because it's getting hard to tell. And that's my message.
Fire. Yes. Lafayette Baba Tahir, what up?
Lafayette, I need. Say Lafayette, I need. How you feeling, brother?
I ain't complaining,
can
fam.
I do my intro?
Oh, yeah.
Bibi Forodie, Bibi Tumi, Kujiti Wala, Say Lafayette, welcome to the front lines. Welcome to the battleground. Welcome to ground zero. Welcome to the war zone. Welcome to another edition of the War Report with yours truly, Oláyínká. Welcome to my guest, and welcome to those individuals who are watching. A very rainy and dreary day here in the city of Philadelphia, the so-called city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. Of course, brotherly love amongst Africans and sisterly affection amongst Africans. We're not talking about that other brotherly love and that other sisterly affection. But nonetheless, hope everybody had a great day. Before I introduce my three guests tonight, my three very special guests, I'm going to go over the particulars as we always do on this show. I would like to announce, would be proud to announce that the African Independence Day Organizing Committee, along with Urban Shamans Productions and B Mayat Incorporated, will be bringing to you, as of Saturday, August the 6th, the 18th annual African Independence Day Mayat celebration. Its theme this year will be Message to the Warriors, and it will take place once again at Malcolm X Memorial Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. And we know that we always kick off festivities early in the morning at 10 a.m. with our traditional African do for self Junkanoo parade. We will process down 52nd Street from 52nd Arch Street to the corner of 52nd and Pine Streets and that of Malcolm X Park, which was the official opening for the 18th annual African Independence Day Mayat celebration. We are in process of planning. I am woeful that these three guests that I will introduce y'all to in a few minutes will all be a part of it. So we're in the planning stages of it now, but you'll have more information to come in the weeks ahead as we get our website back up, which is AfricanIndependenceDay.org, the official website for the African Independence Day Mayat celebration, as well as the African Do for Self Junkanoo. You can also reach out to us on Instagram, Facebook. We have both an Instagram page and an active Facebook page where we will be posting all the information in the weeks and months to come leading up to African Independence Day. But we will talk more about that at the end of the show. If there's anyone who would like to be a guest, a future guest, or have any critiques, comments, or criticisms of this program, you can reach us at, or you can email me directly at my email, obawajumi_Olayinka@yahoo.com, spell OBAWUMI_OLAYINKA@yahoo.com. If you'd like to be a future guest, and I would like to have future guests, and I would like to talk about that more next week because I want some more sisters to be available and at the ready to come on the show, as long as you're talking about basically the 5 pillars. If you're talking about reactionization, family development, nation building, sovereignty, and righteous living, you can be a guest of this program, brother or sister, but I'm looking to get some more sisters on this program in the weeks to come. So email me directly. I'll read your emails. I'll get back with you as soon as possible. I'm real good with that. And we can go from there. Please support all the great programming here at DTKR, Do the Knowledge Radio, by going to Cash App or PayPal, via Cash App or PayPal. You can support Do the Knowledge Radio on Cash App at $ Knowledge Born Allah. Once again, that is $ Knowledge Born Allah, as well as on PayPal at paypal.me/Do the Knowledge Radio. That is paypal.me/Do the Knowledge Radio. As well as you can support this program. At the bottom of the ticker, you see the Cash App there, my Cash App for the War Report at $ OBAGod7. Once again, that is OBAGod7. If you would like to financially support this program, the War Report. So now, with that being said, and we taking care of all of the particulars and family business, we can move on with our guests, our triumphant of guests. These are my brothers. I love all these brothers dearly. I respect them. They are some of the artists at the forefront of a movement, basically a movement that is expressing the culture of us as African people through that of what some may know as the Yoruba tradition. Some of us know it as Iluwa Sheshe. Some of us know it as Orisha tradition, which we are all four of us a part of. But I'm going to have each one of my guests introduce themselves, a brief introduction, and then we can go on from there. I guess we'll start from the top with my brother Adelumo. You can start, and then we'll go to Tahir, and then we'll end off with our brother Fundayo, aka Stiggz. So.
Alafia family. It's a blessing to be here with my brothers. My name is Adelumo, also known as Richard Raw. It's just a blessing to be here. I do ancestral music. I do Orisha soul music. That's what I do, and that's what I stand for. And I'm unapologetic and uncompromising with that. So go check out the video I shared. Go check out EYPLA, and you'll know exactly what we're all about.
Baba Tahir. Okay, now we'll come back to Baba Tahir. Baba Tahir, you good?
Lafayette, Black Power. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Am I clear? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
You? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Lafayette, Black Power. My name is Tahir. You can hear me?
Yeah. We can hear you.
Okay. My name is Tahir RBG. I'm revolutionary. And that's 24/7 all day, every day, until the beat before Hodie is in everybody's mouth and everybody's lifestyle. That's where I'm at.
Okay, and let's go to third, last, and definitely not least, the youngest of this particular triumvirate and crew, our good brother from Rochester, New York, our brother Stiggz. Take it away, Stiggz.
No doubt. What up? How y'all feeling out there? I'm Stiggz, aka Stiggz Swag Mode. You just been blacktivated. I'm appreciative. I'm thankful to be here with my brothers Rich, Tahir, Baba Obawa Jumi. I'm about that African liberation, liberating our mind, liberating our people, utilizing our tools and our weaponry is music, to liberate the minds of Africans all across the globe. Period. No cap, no fronting, and give it to the babies. Teach the babies early what we learn late. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm on. I'm just appreciative to be able to share this platform with these brothers right here. Real talk. I stand on their shoulders as well and following the guidance.
Okay. We came up with hip hop, the four of us. We came up with hip hop. We grew up with hip hop. Hip hop is pretty much a part of who and what we are. It's in our blood. I was in high school. Actually, I was in elementary school when I first heard hip hop. I fell in love with it after I heard The Breaks by Curtis Blow. And from that particular point, it took me, to various different places and degrees and chambers in my growth and my development. And one of the great periods of hip hop was the golden age of hip hop, which basically spanned from the middle of the 80s to the beginning portion of the 90s. And I lived in probably the greatest era of this particular musical cultural expression. And being as though I lived through that particular era, there were a lot of groups that came out with the resurgence of and focus on African, well, I wouldn't even say African, but on consciousness. I mean, you had your Public Enemy, you had your KRS Ones or Boogie Down Productions. You had your Poor Righteous Teachers. You had your X-Clans. You had multiple groups out there. You had groups that even were members of, the Ansar Allah community, or what is now the Nubian Nation of Moors, expressing themselves. So you had individuals in the Nation Guys and Earth, Percent. You had individuals in the Nation Islam, Nubians. You had various different expressions that existed. So to hear anybody talk about Orisha, Voodoo tradition, Ifa, or Iloa Sheshe tradition, it didn't exist pretty much. It was, people knew about it, but it wasn't talked about 30, some odd years ago, But now there is an explosion of it. There are various different artists that I'm coming across. These are just 3 of the artists that I know who are premier artists in the particular genre or a particular type of music that they do. But it's now an explosion. And basically my first question to all 3 of you all, and you can all, answer it any way you want to answer it, and anyone can step forward and be the first or whatever. Your thoughts, your feelings about this explosion, because you are 3 of the leading artists in the genre right now, where there has never been a time in hip hop, more so now, that people are talking about the various spiritual tradition that all 3 of us on a daily basis practice, and incorporate within our lives, in addition to our political social ideology of Pan-African, or should I say Pan-African cultural, or should I say cultural Pan-African nationalism, and so forth and so on. So I'm going to get your thoughts and your feelings about a movement that you all are really, you 3 artists are some of the trailblazers of. And y'all can answer it, anybody can go.
Well, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Baba. Any.
Okay. First of all, shout out to my brother Stiggz. Shout out to my good brother Richard Raw. Yo, I have full salute and respect for these brothers and all the other artists who live this lifestyle of, it's an African liberation lifestyle that goes by so many names, but we know when you live this lifestyle, you know it's on. Yeah, they ain't the United States and imperialistic laws don't really fuck with us on that. You know what I'm saying? So it's really hard. I won't say it's hard. You got to know you up for the challenge to live this behind enemy lines in the United States of America. So although all of us who choose to live this lifestyle and to build with it, and as a lifestyle, that means this is the way I eat, this is the way I communicate, this is the way I get around, this is the way I get money, this is the way I love my wife, this is the way I raise my children, this is the way I bury my people, this is the way, you know what I'm saying? And then we got the audacity to put it to the beat and blast it full blast. Big salute to all those artists who choose to live like that and do that, because we all know that it's more of a long game than it is a short game for fame and all. We know what this is. So shout out to all those that are living this and doing that, and especially my brothers right here, because we took the time to do this. I think it's a great thing that it's an explosion. I love it. I love hearing Rick Ross say he got a voodoo lady. I love hearing the young one saying I'm bulletproof because I'm on my voodoo shit. I love that shit. You know what? You know what else I love? I love some of the misconceptions that they got of it, because it's great cover for what we really got to do. You know, we got to be able to see. You know, you're gonna have people that's just, you know, oh man, you ain't get your decades the right way. All that shit, it's a lot of bullshit, but at the same time, it's good cover because we at war. I know everybody on this line will never forget that. Until we have won, we are at war. So all cover behind enemy lines, it works. and you know, it's not that we want to create it, but I give thanks for some of that cover, because you know things are getting very obtuse now. Things are getting very obtuse now. I know in my own life, I do so much spiritual work on both hands to maintain and also to create a BB Fahodie that I love it. People see you and they see what you're doing and say, oh, that's a real one right there. He really handling that shit. He really doing that. I need to protect him. I need to, now leave bro alone. You know, he always wear white. Leave him alone, man. He doing that real shit. You know, that's from people who maybe 5 years ago wasn't fucking with us.
That's right.
You feel me? Wasn't fucking with us. Was like, yo, what did they do? Now everybody get it, because because of Rick Ross, because of Gunplay, because of Rihanna, because of AZ and Beyonce, because of
Oh, he was built.
Oh man, he was getting warmed up.
He'll rejoin us. Bible Rich, Stiggz, either one.
Well, like he said, it's definitely the long game. You know, as an artist, it's easy to create the kind of music that's already out there, that's available. But when you do this kind of music and you stand on these principles, Iwapele, and you stand on Ubuntu, you stand on Ma'at, it's not easy, because you're a representation of your ancestors. We are becoming our ancestors, as Dr. Wally Mubarudi would put it, become an ancestor from within. So it's a great responsibility, to stand in this square. To stand on this square is great responsibility, because they're looking at you. They're wondering what's going on. And when you stand on this square, that we demystify what's our ancestors. They think it's mystical, but we demystifying that, by standing on our square. It's a beautiful thing. And I love it, because this is, when you talk about the Haitian Revolution, and we are engaged in warfare, right? And a part of that liberation is using our African spirituality. And that's what we've been missing for so long, that we haven't used our voodoo. We haven't used the legba. We haven't used that shoe the way that we were supposed to. And now that's what we're doing. So you can see the warfare that we're having. I talk to, me and Tahir all the time, like we're having an effect on them. They're looking at what we do. You best believe that. They're looking at what we do, and they're starting to incorporate it. You'll see Kanye will come out soon. He'll have on some Aleges. They have no choice. They have no choice but to embrace our African ancestors. It's no other choice. They're rising up. Every time that we create one of these songs, we're bringing them. We bringing those graves back alive. Every time we're calling those names and bringing them back into the square. So they have no choice but to embrace this way of life. And the more that we embrace this way of life, the revolution will come.
That's it. It's before I let Stiggz go ahead and do his thing. Professor Charles Finch, Baba Charles Finch, was in Philadelphia some years ago when the Franklin Institute had an exhibit on ancient Kemet. And he said in front of an audience of a number of people, so-called dignitaries in the city, they had a real big opening. Many of the people who were in the audience were Oyimbo, were Caucasians, were Europeans, and he said in front of them doubles, and he said in front of many of us, he said that we have denied for so long who and what we are. We have ran to Christianity, we've ran to Islam, we've ran to Judaism, and ran to so many of these various different traditions that in these various different traditions, we've tried them all, But unless we as African people, and he spoke to the African audience, he said, unless we as African people return to our spiritual traditions, we'll never, ever get out of this condition that we are in. I'm sorry. We have tried it all. He said, we have tried it all. Matter of fact, he said, I'm not sorry. We've tried it. It does not work for us. You must return back to the source. You must return back to traditional African spiritual cosmology. It's the only way to get out of this condition. You've tried Jesus. We've tried Muhammad. We've tried it all. Does not work for African people. We must go with that which works for African people. So what you say, Baba Rich?
And the point that you make also, we've tried it all in hip hop. Hip hop has been Islamic. It has been Christianized. I mean, they're running with choirs and all of that, but guess what has not been done to the level? So as I'm saying, as it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. This is our time. That's why we've been through it all. We've worked that angle. Those ancestors haven't worked for us in Christianity and Judaism and these other particular spiritual forms. They have not worked for us. Now it's time for those ancestors, our African ancestors, to return. And we holding down the fort. I love Afro beats, but they ain't rocking like this. I don't hear no by Tala. I don't hear, it's beautiful music, but like we are the caretakers of the planet right now. Like we're doing that in America. We are the axis right now. I talk to our brothers. I'm like, yo, this is what we got to be on. We got to be calling the names of these Orishas. You know what I'm saying? And so we are going to have an effect on them. It's coming. It's coming.
Stiggz, add on.
No doubt. Just to add on, I'm a veggie back off where Baba Tahir was going. When it comes to becoming more popular, the explosion, and seeing it in artists like Jay-Z, Beyonce, from the Rick Ross Gunplay. I'm glad you said Gunplay, because a lot of people didn't catch Gunplay interview when he was speaking about how he got out of his situation. You know what I mean? It excited me to see it. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, okay, you with it. I'm appreciative and thankful to see it going home. Hip hop, the effect that the culture has. It's a frequency. It's a frequency. When I think of frequency, I think of controlled vibration, like putting the vibration to a specific dial, and it's an ancestral dial, and it's always been there. What I'm gonna say for me somewhere, you know what I mean? However, when I look back and I look at you, Baba Tahir, and your production, right? That production changed my life and my whole crew, to keep it a stack with you, like no fronting, you know what I'm saying? I ain't no front with them. The production, the sound, the music, just from the work that you were doing. These are seeds that were being planted at the time. You know what I mean? That means it was already there. It's always been there. And I like to see that. Like I said when I was saying earlier to Baba Rich, I felt confident to see real shrine work, real talk, and videos, like real time. So I'm showing on my friends, you know what I mean? I'm like, yo, this is fire right here. As a matter of fact, shout out to Knowledge Born from Do the Knowledge Radio, Sunday Great. Shout out to Baba Kokai Sarah. On the morning show, Orisha Street Hop in the morning, we played a ton of your music, both of y'all. We played more Rich and Tahir probably than anybody. And something I noticed was a lot of the people that I know that may have never heard of you guys were extremely excited that it was real hip hop, conscious, lyrical, bars, message, everything that you got, that are about. I'm like excited about that, because they weren't happy about the trap. People are tired of the nonsense music. You know what I mean? People are tired of the mumble. People are tired of music without a purpose, And now I'll end it with this Rakim quote, a bar. He said, I take this more serious than just a poem. It's more serious than just a poem. This is not poetry. This is that we had a discussion. This is Oriki. This is what we doing. You know, this is not poetry. It's deeper.
It's a form of veneration.
Form of veneration.
Is a huge form of veneration. Yes, I would agree.
Yep. So for us to be able to, that's what I'm thankful and excited, and I'm glad that the people are more receptive to it now. And you know, I'm here to answer the call. I'm here to answer the call unapologetically as well. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of get an when people like might look weird, I look at them weird. Like, Mo, you tripping? Like you on something else, man. You better get over here with this. You know what I'm saying? I walk, you know, if they talking something bad about Vodun, any of our African culture, I put the pressure back on them. Like, nah, like y'all got it backwards. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not here to hide. We're here to move forward and push the agenda. You know, push the purpose.
Yeah, we become the representation. You know, I mean, my family members were definitely like, man, this is a little weird. Like, we don't know what this is. You know, they were kind of iffy. And I was like, this is why I treat y'all the way that I do, why I love y'all unapologetically, why I show up, because of this. Because when I had that other way of life, when I wasn't rapping on this angle, I was different. You know what I'm saying? I was a different person, but we become the model. We model our ancestors. And that's the beauty, is we're bringing people to the culture. When I go in classrooms, I don't tell them what I am. They begin to ask, well, what are you? What is this? You know, and I'm like, that's the beauty of educating you without even walking. You know, I walk in the room and they're like, who are you? What's this? And I get a chance to demystify all of the things that they say about the culture, you know, and that's the beauty. That's the beauty. It's pure beauty.
That's it. Baba, Tahir, you there? You there with us, Baba? I can barely hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. I want you to continue with what you were saying earlier, Baba.
Okay, man. Yeah, man. Seems like every time I get up. Okay, about what I was talking about earlier?
Yes, sir, Baba. I want you to finish that point that you were making. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So yeah, man, it's just it's pretty much just what was oh man, that's what's happening. Okay, I see. Just what the brothers were saying earlier, man. Like it's basically it's because the planet, it needs it. We're at that part. We're at that point right now. Africans is at that point right now where our spirit is going to what it needs. It ain't like nobody, they're not planning to wake up and get on this. It's what the spirit is calling for. And so brothers and sisters, and I don't know about other parts of the country, but in Florida, the hood, 1 out of 3 people is on this juju shit. 1 out of 3 got shrines galore and working they shit and got it popping. It's in the hood. It's where we're celebrating. Us 4 on here, we would celebrate at what I see on the daily. To the point where it makes you say, okay, you know, I mean, just I got, man, they heard, some of them don't even know our music. Then when they hear
lost Baba.
Ooh, he getting cooking. He getting cooking, boy.
Because I mean, I want to ask another question, but I really want him to finish it because it's so necessary. I mean, you and I, the 3 of us have talked, and we were talking about briefly when we all were in Delaware last year for Juneteenth at your wonderful event, Baba Adenumo. So, but the thing is that, like he said, the planet is calling for it. Our Agun are calling us, man. They're sending the call. You know what I mean? And I think that in us grabbing hold to or following that message that Baba Tahir talked about, I think that where we're at is a point where decisions have to be made, because I think our people, some of our people anyway, see our condition and they see our conditions deteriorating fast. And so some of them are hearing the call that's being presented to them by the Egungun. You know what I'm saying? But in grabbing hold of what it is that's being said to them, my concern, and we can go into this and elaborate on it a little bit later, my concern is in hearing that call, your action that you take after hearing that call. Because I think that even for those of us who are in this tradition, who happen to be artists like the three of you all are, I got to quote the great Ernesto Che Guevara. And he said that, matter of fact, Chairman Fred said this in the movie Judas and the Black Messiah to Mama Akua when he first met her. And she's a poet. And he said, yeah, he said, I dig poetry. I like poetry. But I got to quote Che Guevara. And he said that words are beautiful, but actions are supreme. Words are beautiful, but action behind those words is supreme. And that's what we got to get to. You know what I'm saying, as artists. But we'll go into that a little bit later. But Baba, you're going to finish up. So floor is yours.
Yeah, I just want to give, you know what, I want to say this, man, just as it seemed, and you know, just let it be noted, and we got to know it. Every time we talk this right here and we get to the fucking brass tacks, this platform of StreamYard, you know, the shit works. Where they hear certain words, they shut this shit down. So bear with us, everybody that's listening. This is real shit. They're not gonna cut that bullshit off. They're gonna cut the real shit. It's gonna be hard to catch. So I'm just telling you. I mean, I see interviews with all my brothers and my sisters that talk this shit, and always be some shit when we get to the brass tacks. But what I was saying was, our spirit is gravitating to it, whether our person knows it or not. Whether your person knows it or not, your spirit gonna go to what you need, what the spirit needs. Take body there. That's why I say I'm not very surprised that the hood is on it. Whether quote unquote good or bad, they are saying, hey, I have something that's within me that I can tap into and become powerful.
All right.
Yeah, and you know what? I just want to say this real quick to what he was saying as far as seeing it in the hood. That is, I was watching one of those Vice shows when they show the hoods, and it was definitely, I think in Atlanta though, and I saw brothers in the trap in the hood, and they definitely had their Lakes on and all that. And it's I could see it definitely hitting in the hood a lot more. It's not as prominent upstate in New York. However, I could see that it's growing fast. So that's inspiring to hear, you know what I mean? Because even though they might not be doing quote unquote the right things with it, like he was saying, the spirit's answering the call within them. They might not even be conscious of why they're going in that direction, you know? And then we could utilize music like what we do to help bring it home so they have direction. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just ending with that.
Another question for both of you brothers, and we'll wait for Baba Tahir to get back on. How important is accountability and responsibility in terms of lyrics that talk about and speak towards African liberation and sovereignty from the artist's point of view? How important is accountability and responsibility in terms of taking out the time to write lyrics that speak to our condition, that speak towards liberation, that speak towards sovereignty for African people of that particular artist? How important, basically a question that was asked a couple of weeks ago, even by our good brother, brother brother Kalanji Jamachanga on his program. He asked the question, "Do lyrics matter?" to Cyrock. He also had on Brother Jay of X Clan, and he had on our brother Wise Intelligent of Poor Righteous Teachers fame. And how important is accountability, responsibility in lyrical presentation and content, speaking towards liberation and sovereignty, as well as do lyrics matter? Baba Rich?
Lyrics matter. Point blank to me. Lyrics matter. And I think of the three-pronged process that I use in my classroom. So one of the things I talk about is what you create is a product of thought. So we start with thought. It's a three-pronged process. So from thought, the ideals that you have in your head, those thoughts will manifest in the way that you speak. So if you look at, I always teach our young people how you talk to one another as a product of what you think about one another. And that think and that language will manifest a certain kind of behavior. So for me, it definitely, lyrics matter straight up. And when I'm writing, I'm always thinking, will my ancestors approve of this? Like, would they say, wow, this is what we need out in the atmosphere right now? I'm always thinking about that. So for me, lyrics definitely matter. You know what I'm saying? We have, with language, we influence so much because things came into existence by way of words, vibrations, and tones. So that's how we bring things into existence. We can bring things that are positive in terms of our culture or things that aren't so positive in terms of our culture. So for me, lyrics matter, straight up.
Here.
Yes,
if you can hear me, if you can hear me, I asked the question. I said, "Do lyrics matter?" And the reason why I asked that question was a couple weeks ago. Our good brother Kalanji Jamachanga of on his show Rise Starter TV was asking that to Cyrock, to Brother Jay of X Clan and Wise Intelligent of Poor Righteous Teachers fame. He was asking them, and I'm saying that from the standpoint of how important is accountability and responsibility to those artists who are culturally conscious artists and speak towards the liberation and sovereignty of African people through their lyrics?
Well, yeah, man, lyrics matter. The vibration, what you saying carries a vibration, and if it's a vibration of African liberation, you see the effects of it with those who listen to it over and over and over again. If it's a vibration of destruction, you'll see the results in your work over and over and over again. You know, I used to do it too. I mean, I used to memorize every single rap song that ever came out. I memorized it. I said it 1,000 times on the way to school, during school, leaving school. So, you know, I grew up in Florida, 2 Live Crew. I embodied it. I was on it, you know, saying that then NWA, then Public Enemy, then, you know, X Clan, then, you know, you could just keep going. But, you know, once I start, okay, man, when I say that, now I'm writing these kind of rhymes. I'm on what I'm on. Yo, I seen my own life transform from, you know, I'm studying and I'm doing my rap. So, you know, I'm kind of, but I'm saying these rhymes over and over again. Next thing you know, this is what you own. You know what I mean? And it's a beautiful thing. Yes, lyrics matter. Lyrics matter. For not only to those who hear it, but mostly to those who say it. That's who it really matters the most to. You know, because I mean, you know, you could wish death on yourself. You could wish life on yourself. You know, you can put death or life on yourself. You can put poverty on yourself. Oh, I got it so hard, man. I'm out the mud. I'm fucked up, and you are fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Or yo, I wish love in my life, and you know, yo, I love my wife and blah blah blah, and I love my children. Yo, I'm so blessed. and then you come in and you check in and be like, damn, you blessed. How is that? Raps. Raps. That's how, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, lyrics are very important. Yeah, anybody that says that otherwise is either ignorant or they on the take. They up to something.
Stiggz.
Yes, sir. Definitely. I'm sure you're in agreement with these brothers. Lyrics are extremely important. If it wasn't for a lyric, it'd just be an instrumental. Number one, you know. And I look at instrumentals as ways to open up chambers to the doors to the brain. So as the music is playing, doors are being opened to be able to place thought and ideas inside of a brain, right? So when we got these beats playing and the lyrics, and as Baba said, with repeating the lyrics and saying them, you know, we all did, we did it, and we'll be dishonest with ourselves if we were to say or imply that the lyrics that we rapped at a time didn't affect us or our communities. When I looked at, we rolled around and listened to NWA, with drinking, smoking, and all that. We were ready to do what NWA was talking about. We was ready to go fight, shoot stuff up, whatever it was that they was talking about at the time. As we getting our mind going, right? This is what we on as we write. No matter where we go, that's the mind frame, right? And it extremely shows if we were listening to something different with a different message. It could have the same beat, right? That's important because the chambers are being opened up to sound. Different lyrics, different message. We move through the community differently. So lyrics are so important, and as well as tone, how you say them. Even if it's sound, to me, sound is a lyric, right? Because we are able to communicate. We know when our parents, our mother or father, give us a certain tone without it even being a word, we still understand what that means. You know, if they hit us with we like, okay, or they might give us a certain look. So lyrics matter, sounds matter, and it's extremely important for artists to have a cell wall to be able to keep information and knowledge. You can have all this stuff on inside, but make sure it's surrounded with some knowledge and information that's going to feed the people. Because if not, it's guaranteed to come back and haunt you in your communities. It'll haunt your family. We're living it right now. You know, the music has affected us, and we're still cleaning up. As I said yesterday during the conference, during the summit, we're still cleaning up the nuclear waste from NWA. Right now to this day, we're still cleaning it up, you know. So even though some artists may have changed their lives, the damage is still done because the music lives forever. You know what I mean? And just to end it with this, my daughter, right? Because the NWA movie came out, right? So one day I walk in the house and I hear NWA, and I'm like, what? I'm like jumping around like, whoa, like, yo, first of all, how you know about that, number one? And why is you playing that? She's like, the movie and this, and I'm just like, it just made me even more conscious of how destructive music is and when it hits youth at a certain age, you know what I mean? Because we were at that age when we were in our teens when we listened to it, you know what I mean? So I think the lyrics are extremely important, and as far as us go, when we give it to youth, it's extremely important. Help shape them.
Let me add on to the accountability. Okay, go ahead, Bobby.
No, go ahead, Bobby. No, go ahead.
I got to tap out.
All right.
No, go ahead, Bobby.
So I was going to say about accountability. I think the beautiful thing that you see in this culture. All right, Tahir.
All right.
I think he went out. I think in terms of accountability, I think the beautiful thing that you see in this culture, and when I go from Elay to Elay, or when I go to do festivals or whatnot, family centric. You see families out there, and that's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? Because we grew up in a culture where we didn't see families interacting at these events. When you come to our events, you see whole families and whole different generations, and that's the intent of what hip hop was supposed to be. Hip hop never was supposed to be diced, where you have an elder generation and a younger generation. That broke up the family. So I think when I look back, when I was young, you know, music that was played in the house, Michael Jackson could be, or Marvin Gaye was appreciated by all generations. You know what I'm saying? And so now you have elders that are embracing this EFI hip hop, and then you have the little babies. They rock into it. So that we are bringing this back home. And that's the beautiful thing. When I go and see Tahir, when I'm down there, we going out or we doing a show, his children are there. You know, his compliment is there. That's different. That's a different thing. So when we talk about accountability, like, yes, whoever, you know, if you decide to be with someone, they got to come in the space, right? We got to see them when we doing Bimbe. We got to see them in the space. We all are vibing together. And that is the special thing about what we're doing, is bringing those families back. Dr. Wade Nobles has several publications about how do we repair the family. I think we're doing that with the music. And also we're healing people. You know how many people, and I know Stiggz, I know my brother can relate to this. People hit me up like, yo, this video, Ashe, got me through some times where I was getting ready to give up my spirituality, where I didn't know I would put this on. People are like, I play this every morning. And that comes with great responsibility, because they're looking to you and saying, yo, what you put out, that is healing and helping me. So I'm more conscious now. Like I have to create more music in that vein to add more healing to the world.
One more thing, as far as accountability as well, that this tradition does for me, and I'm sure you brothers as well, with accountability. We know we have the answer to some. We know we cannot go but so far. We know we got an answer to our shrines. We got no answer to our ancestors. We know we got certain taboos. We are aware that what we dealing with, it ain't no joke. You know what I mean? That they're not playing with us, so we don't have that wiggle room to just tap dance, to straddle the fence, or be weary, or act like we are unaware. You know what I mean? So I think that, and that plays a major part in the accountability. You know what I mean? And I'm thankful for that. You know what I mean? Because that's the checks and balances. It keeps the direction, and keeps the focus. And I love what you said, Rich, about family, because when you go to concerts, you don't see a whole family together, from the grandparents to the grandchildren. That is phenomenal. That's a phenom. You know what I mean? That's something that hip hop hasn't tapped into. I don't really know too many other genres that tapped into that, aside from Saturday morning cleaning. When everyone's listening to, like you say, the Marvin Gaye's, and you know, we learned those songs because their parents are playing them. However, aside from that, we don't really see a concert packed with a family.
I think for me, as a program director and planner, and I know that my brothers, who I'm sure are watching, Brother Faru and Brother Kamua, and even Brother Sabor, will tell you that we consciously go into, especially the last 6 to 7 years, we've been doing African Independence Day. And even when African Independence Day started, and Brother Ahmed and I would talk about it along, you know, with our team of people, we consciously said we have to make African Independence Day an intergenerational event. It has to have, you know, grandmom, you know, grandpa, mom, dad, my brothers, my sisters, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, there, present, to get the fullness and the richness of those things that are being transmitted to them and being said. And I think that is the beautiful part of what we do. You're right. At majority concerts I go to, actually I saw one complete family at the concert I went to last week. I went to go see the sister from Zimbabwe, Sampa the Great. She was playing at the Fillmore. Great concert, great show, phenomenal. If y'all ever get a chance to go see the sister, Sampa the Great, she's excellent. But besides the one family I saw, and I knew the brother and I knew his queen, and it was great to see his children there because he always takes his children and his entire family everywhere he goes, to every event that he goes to. I did not see, besides his family, any other families, whole families there to witness this particular event. And like you said, you know, I mean, you want to kind of expose, especially if it's talking about something that is redemptive and is powerful as our Africanity. You want to bring the entire family there to be exposed to and to be, you know what I mean, to be taught these ideas and these concepts. But at concerts, families are not there. You know what I mean? And it's and I think that's intention. You know what I'm saying? That they're not there.
It's intentional.
It's
intentional. I would suggest there's a publication by Dr. Oba Chashaka. It's called The Generation Gap, The Generation Trap. It's a very interesting read. It's a thick, but he talks about that. That was and there's a brother who used to trek through Philly and talked about this. I can't remember his name, but his name escapes me at this point. But you know, they talk about like they've destroyed us by changing the generation. Why am I listening to and think about this? The young person is in their house and they have their earbuds in, they're listening to whatever they're listening to, and then you have the parents may be over there and they're listening to something completely different, but you don't even know what they're listening to. And that's strange. And I'm like, how about we take these out and let's sit and listen to music together and then talk about it. Let's reflect on it. So I get my children, my students, you know, when I'm in a classroom, I'm Baba. You know what I'm saying? I'm your father while I'm in this classroom, and like, let's sit down and let's dissect and go through how this music is affecting you. Because our young people, they don't understand that the music is affecting them a particular way to emit a certain kind of response. That's what the music is doing. You know, it's like the snake. You know, once the flute is played, that snake will rise up. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be very careful and guarded over what you put in to your body. And the music in and of itself is so influential. And I've watched these individuals play out particular things destructive in terms of their family. I'm like, why do you talk to your mother like that? Why are you talking to your sisters like that? And then I go to the music and I'm like, now I understand, because there's a disrespect of our women in the music, and that will manifest itself in how you treat your mother unconsciously. You unconscious, because we have to train them and teach them, like, you have to program the unconscious parts of your mind. The subconscious, you have to train them to, that's what Yemoya is about. That's what Oshun is about. Programming the subconscious part of your mind, because that's where you cuss people out and then you become a wonderment to yourself. You know, Dr. Amos Wilson said, we become a wonderment to ourselves, which means we can't control or understand who we are. We don't even have control over ourselves. So it starts, that music is programming them to react a particular way, and they don't see it. It's the same way that when you're young, you could wake up in the morning and eat pizza. You could wake up and eat the burgers. Your metabolism is just flowing. But as you get older, they start to tell you, you know what, there's some issues going on, some health issues, probably because of the things you did when you were young and you were unconscious. You didn't realize it because your metabolism was flowing. So this is what we got to train and teach our children. Like, this is having an effect on you in a particular way. And it's designed to do that because the Yoruba, when Yoruba encountered us, they had to take the children and re-educate the children. They started with the children and they turned the children away from the adults. So they changed their way of life. They made you more Europeanized or Uruguayized. And that's a part of the Ma'afa. So what we're doing is restoring. This is restorative justice, where we're bringing back that culture, that healing, where we sat around the fire and it was young, elders. Everybody sat around that fire and heard that message from our elders as they were speaking. Everybody would sit around that fire and listen. That's what my brother's X-Clan, they said, and gather around the fire for the skull that I deliver. And they also said, I want to make this clear before I give this up. X-Clan said, Elegba, meet me at the road, a following scroll, young to the old. I heard that when I was young, and now I'm like, okay, Now that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's the kind of music I love because now I'm processing that. X-Clan was the greatest in my humble opinion. They touched on Ra, Horace, I mean Marcus Garvey, Black Watch. That's what we need to bring back.
Yes, X-Clan. Shout out to X-Clan. And I think that because of what X-Clan did, and I'm like you, when I got introduced to the tradition and then heard X-Clan again, and I heard them talking about mint, who put somebody to pick a mint, I was like, oh, and the shoe line, I'm like, oh, they was on it then.
What?
They were on it then. And I'm like, okay, this is why the industry changed the way they did. This is why they went to attacking and did privatized prison. This is why they pushed NWA. This is why they closed PRT and these brothers like that out. Because just like we listened to the Bull, we would have been listening to that, becoming in tune, and studying. Back in the day, we studied lyrics. We literally studied lyrics, find out what they said, and went and told our friends, hey, yo, what's name said this? And it was super dope. So I look at it, if we would have, let's just say would have been 20 years, was 2022, since X-Clan dropped. All right, they dropped like 89, 90 around there.
Yes.
If just imagine or visualize 20 years of that style of music as opposed to what we have been gotten and where we will be as a people right now.
Liberation.
Come on now. We would be it'd be baby Wakanda around here. You know what I mean? And I'm glad you said something earlier, like they can't stop it.
They can't.
They can't stop it. They cannot stop. They cannot stop the bum rush. And just to speak the family part, which is the first shrine. You know what I mean? It's family.
I say
hey, that's the Shrine Foundation, right? Mm-hmm. Shout out to my man Son the Great, right? I saw him with his family at the RBG Music Fest. All of them vending. He did his music. The whole family was there together. You know what I mean? Putting in that work. Shout out Baba Kokai Sarab, the first person I ever saw the whole family move as a unit to do everything down to the G baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
I myself was raised in that type of environment. My father, you know, Chief Baba and my Iya, when we were younger, we moved out as a unit. They didn't leave us behind. Everywhere they went, we went. Every bimbe, even every initiation in our tradition that they were working, we went. You know what I'm saying? We weren't necessarily privy to see what was going on, but we were there. We were in the environment. We knew something was happening that dealt with our Africanity and our African spirituality, although we weren't allowed to go behind the curtain. Right. But we moved as a unit. You guys know this thing of, oh, well, you know, we'll just leave the kids behind and we'll go here and go there. No, we move as a unit. I see that with you, Baba Rich. You know what I mean? You and EI, you know what I mean? And Orisha, and you all move as a unit. Where I go, where I go, where my queen goes, where my, you know, young princess goes, where my young, you know, daughter goes, we all go. Because I want to expose the entire family to these concepts and these ideas that make us who we are as African people. You know what I'm saying? So what y'all both saying is right on point.
Facts. And why I say we have to be protective of this culture, because what we see before Yoruba realized what they were supporting with this conscious hip hop, when they realized what this was doing, because it wasn't just the music. Most people say it's the music, but X-Clan had Black Watch. They had Sonny Carson. They had movements. The day
they had a movement
on there called the Outrage, the day that they walked over the Brooklyn Bridge and were protesting, you know, the brothers that were getting killed and murdered in the streets. These were actual movements taking place. So they were like, whoa, these are movements being created from the music. That's what we can't allow. We cannot allow a liberatory movement. And that's why I say we have to be protective of our art, because once they realize that we're having this tremendous amount of effect, they're going to come in on us, because this is warfare. We're in a protracted struggle. So that's why we have to be extremely cautious and careful and guarded over what we create. We got to keep this pure. You know what I'm saying? And keep us accountable, because I mean, they're gonna come after us. You best believe that. You know what I'm saying? And I know. You know what I mean? I know, because I've had my own struggles.
I think all four of us, even speaking for Baba Tahir, all four of us know that. I mean,
oh yeah. So I mean, we got to be very protective, and we are creating movements. Right. That's what we're doing. We're creating, and once you create movements, it takes it somewhere else. Right. It takes it into a different world. So again, it's and you bring your children around, because you know, for my daughter, I want Orisha to have thoughts. So when she's around our culture, she gets thoughts that manifest in her language, that manifest in her behavior. So it's a three-pronged process, and what she thinks about is our culture, because that's what she sees constantly and comes in contact with it. So what are her creations? Whatever she creates is a cultural creation, and that's what the great brother from Africa, is Thomas Sankara, and our great revolutionaries talked about culture. And the great liberator of Guinea-Bissau, they talked about culture. Culture has to be at the forefront of everything that we do. You know, Dr. Wale Rudy says that also. Culture, we have to teach our children culture.
Mama Marimba teaches us that culture is our immune system.
Yes.
It is our immune system. African people have a built-in immune system, and that built-in immune system within our RNA, our DNA, and our ancient ancestry memory cells is culture.
Facts. Facts.
You wanna add on, Stiggz?
Yeah, I'm with you. Now I'm with y'all. Culture. That, you know, when I look up the scientific meaning of what culture is, it's what to have the best when you plant, for example, as an example, the best soil or seed for growth, the best conditions for ultimate growth. Culture, right? Scientifically, right? So it's important for us to create soil to give to plant the seeds in, so they can have the best fertile soil, the best soil, with our music, with, like you're saying, family, with everything that we do, so that they can have culture. And to speak to the family point, as far as music goes, and this kind of what I was saying last night with Baba Obawa Jumi, is we have to move as a family, all right? Strength in numbers. The extended family, you know what I mean? We have our immediate, then we have our community family as well. Baba Rich, Baba Obawa Jumi, other people that we know. It's important for us to move as a unit. We have to move as a unit, because we don't have the numbers like they do. You know what I mean? Correct. And there's so many people that is followers, right? If they see a movement moving together, they'll follow just to find out what's going on. Now, as they follow us, we're able to throw them in classes here, teach them this. Now they become allies and with the movement. So I'm saying it's very important for us. That's what I think about as far as what can we do to have an impact. You know what I mean? We make dope music. You know, we have shows, we have platforms. You know what I mean? What they don't see or haven't seen is all of us move as one together, right? So I'm thinking like I saw when 50 Cent first came in the game, everywhere he went, it was 100 soldiers with him. 100 of them. Now that made an impact. That made people say, "Oh, who is that?" Right? So I'm thinking like, just imagine if we shrine workers, RBG, people about that culture, people about family, community, moved as a unit with family, with the children, right? With the children, over 100 deep. We show what like your joint Juneteenth. It's important for us to show up to that joint deep.
Facts.
Deep. Show up deep, like ridiculous deep, like as a responsibility, not like, oh, I got something to do, I can't make it. No, we at war. This is where the war is being fought at. Okay, he called them to the carpet right there in Wilmington, Delaware, right in this square. All right, all the soldiers that we could gather up, show up, and we do that other places as well, so that when them cameras and lights come on, and people is like, okay, what are they? They like, yo, I don't know, man. It's about 1,000 of them. They was dressed in the lake age.
I would say, Bob, I agree with you, but I also have to say something that you and myself and Baba Baba Adelumo talked about backstage. and I agree with Baba Anumo on this. When he said we have to be careful with that because we got to vet people that are coming through. And I want Baba Anumo to speak to that because that is so true. Just because people are all of a sudden becoming familiar with Orisha voodoo tradition, they're becoming familiar with Iluwa Sheshe, they're becoming familiar with Yoruba culture and Yoruba tradition, and now it's the wavy thing to do. So the wave is shifting that way. So I'm gonna go with it. And so people are getting initiated, getting lekes and everything like that. We still don't know who these people are. You know what I mean? Amongst us, you know, and this not just for our tradition, but any African spiritual cosmological tradition that exists, and there are a number of them. You know, their con traditions, so forth and so on. There are a number of various different traditions. So we, you know, as this shift towards traditional African spirituality continues, we got to be able to vet people. And I want Baba Adenuma to speak to that because he was speaking about that so brilliantly before we had to start the program.
Yeah, I mean, that's extremely important. I mean, and that's why we engage in study. Study produces theory, and theory produces practice. So what you practice, you study to produce more theory, to produce more practice. So it's a cyclical idea. And we have to vet individuals. You know, I always ask, are we moving with Iwa Pwele? Even if we have disagreements, are we using Iwa Pwele? Are we being respectful of one another? That's really, that's the fundamentals right there. But we do have to vet because people will come into the culture and cause confusion. And I'm sure all of us have witnessed that before. There's people who will come in. Yeah, I mean, I've had situations, you know, doing a concert, and I found that there was a bit of confusion that came in, and I'm like, you know, who were these people that came in and caused this kind of confusion that almost are trying to make, you know, me turn towards somebody else? Like, no, that's not going to happen. So we definitely have to vet people and make sure that they are who they say they are. You know what I'm saying? We have to test them. We have to test that spirit, and that's with anything, you know you're going to get tested. Eshu will definitely test you. So, you know, we're just modeling our ancestors. We're modeling our Orishas. Eshu will make you lose those keys.
And use the shrines themselves to confirm who he or she is. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? In addition to that, we have our own vetting system, but we also have the ultimate vetting system, which is our shrines. Our shrines can determine who anybody is.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You can't conceal yourself from the shrines. You cannot conceal yourselves from the Orisha. You know what I'm saying? They know, and they will reveal to you who he or she is and their intention. You know what I'm saying? So we utilize that along with the system of vetting that we create, you know what I'm saying, amongst ourselves in terms of our human interaction. And I think that is so important. There's a question I want to raise to you, brothers, because it concerns me too. And I think we've touched on it, but I think we haven't gone into it in depthly. And this is the thing. I'm finding a lot of younger people coming into this tradition with no knowledge of the history of this tradition. They don't know about His Royal Highness Baba Osurjiman. They don't know about the African Cultural Restoration Movement. They know nothing of these things. They come into this tradition with no study or no education, but they come into it because they have been sold on this idea that it's a form of magic that can grant them and get them the things that they want to in life. So if I want a new house, I want a big car, I want a woman, I want a man, I want this, I want that. Well, just very surface materialistic things, just in order to be able to in some senses, keep up with the Joneses, or even just, you know, becoming more comfortable in their captivity in America. That they themselves are coming in this tradition, but they still have this illusion of inclusion. And not coming into this tradition from in a war type posture, in a war type stance, and knowing and understanding that this tradition and other African spiritual cosmological traditions must be used as a way of defending ourselves as Africans, but also going on the offense against our enemy. Okay, we are in a position of war. We've said that each in our own way during this entire broadcast. But how do you feel about these young people coming in with no education on, you know, what today we know as the Sankofa movement, through the African Cultural Restoration movement, you know, and they're coming in with a lot of these misconceptions that, you know, are not good in the long run in terms of our tradition's future. Baba Rich, Baba Fundayo, anyone can start.
Right. I think it's the same thing that we have with hip hop. Is they don't understand the history, and it is by design that they have been turned away from the roots, why mistakes are constantly being made. So the thing about history is we don't study history for self-aggrandizement or to boost up our ego. We study history to use that as a weapon and a liberatory tool to get out of this neo-colonial relationship with imperialism. That's why we study history. So that's the hard part, is you continue to make mistakes. When I study Malcolm or when I study our great revolutionaries, I'm trying to figure out what mistakes did those individuals make and how can I not make those mistakes? How can I move forward and not make the same mistakes that these other brothers made? Because they have made mistakes, but they were supposed to make those mistakes so that we could learn from them and correct and build a better version of who they were. We're supposed to build better versions of Malcolm, but Malcolm was in study constantly. And so I just feel like when you don't study, you don't understand what transpired and what happened, and you're prone to make those mistakes. And so we have to impress upon our younger generation that it's important to engage and study. Once you engage and study, that's how you find your ancestors. That's how you find out who you are, especially when you come into Ifa. The thing is, especially when you're initiated, especially when you go through Egungun and Egungun is standing there, they require for you to, they have to give that reading so that you can understand where you came from. That's essential. And even when we build our pots, when we have our Egungun pots, you know, we have to go to the location, you know, where they were buried, and we have to obtain certain items. So that is important, that you go back with Sankofa to go back and to find and to fetch that which is still there. I don't want to even say lost, because it wasn't lost. It's there. We just have to reconnect with it. Yeah, we're just reconnecting, because some people say it was lost. No, that's called civilizationism. We know that these things are there. It's like the farmer. The farmer moves outside the rural area into the city and sits in darkness, because the farmer doesn't realize that those two prongs in the hole in the wall, if I plug in, I'm gonna get light. But if I don't understand what those prongs are there for, I'll sit in darkness. So what we have to do is teach them to plug in, and that's the history, all that rich history that we have. Baba Oba Surgyman, we have to understand, and he's not like when we talk Black history, we got to be up Oba Surgyman. We got to reverence all that village. Like, this is our Mecca. Our Mecca exists here. That's the argument I'm making, is like, we don't even have to, we can travel to our motherland. But for real talk, we have as much here. We build here. This is a part of the African, we building that. And that's what I liked about, I come out of Nawapo. So I can tell you, like, I understand Garvey, because in Nawapo, we were sending money down to build a land. We were looking for sovereignty and autonomy and to create our own. Now, none of it was perfect, but I was meant to be there to understand. Now, that made me understand Garvey. I was like, now I get what Garvey was trying to do to produce. This organization produced soaps, incense, oils, books, all the things that you need. This is nation building. And we have to understand where we went wrong or what happened and how we can build that same kind of structure and build in the protections that we need to keep it solid.
Baba Fundayo, Stiggler?
Yes. Yep. With people coming in the tradition, I heard Mama Nico say this yesterday. We have to be conscious in a way that people are coming into the traditions with baggage, with issues, they're coming as them. And it's important for us to utilize this as a healing tool for our people that have been damaged, right? We are aware that like you said, it hasn't gone anywhere. It's not lost. You know, the information is still coded within our people. You know, we are aware that it's in the bone, E5, the blood, the bone, you know what I mean? And through epigenetics, the coding, which is in the blood, just has to be, we have to find a way to tap into that coding so they can recognize the coding within itself, the barcode of information to know it's there. You know what I mean? Like you were saying about the prom. And if the youngins don't know, it's because of the adults. I think all too often society blames children for things. And I'm not saying children are going to be children. However, children are adults' responsibilities. And what happens when you don't handle your responsibilities, it causes chaos, there's messes, there are all kinds of things, the spillage going around, you know? So I think that some people are drawn to the culture, right? Because it's in them, right? It's in them, right? However, they're still dealing with, like you were saying, Urugu and things that were trained in their mind psychologically to have people behave away. So like you were saying earlier with the vetting process, and something I realized that I didn't know at first, just because of how I came into the tradition. At first, I thought everybody was about that work. I thought that the whole I thought hey man, hey, I came in with Chief Obalumi. You know what I mean? I came in with hardcore people that's like, okay, this is what it is. Right. Then as I start to go around, I'm like, okay, well, they're not on the same, you know, they got shrines that, you know, they dressing like, you know, they're doing, you know, singing. However, they're not after the liberation of our people.
Right. They don't have the political social ideology that they need to have. And that was and to speak to that, because Stiggz, I want you to stay with me because I want you to continue. And that's what I'm trying to say. Initially, in knowing you know, Obal Sojiman's work, it was by design that after he got initiated in 1968 in Matanzas, Cuba, he was already, before he got initiated, a Pan-African cultural nationalist. He was a nationalist.
Come on.
And what he did was that he went down to Matanzas to be initiated to merge the spiritual tradition and culture with the political social ideology as one. And this is what these young people today are not coming in with. They don't understand the cultural and the spiritual aspect of our tradition, but they don't understand the political social ideology of cultural Pan-African nationalism. You have to have both. You cannot have one without the other. I'm sorry. It doesn't work that way. Either you deal with it and accept it all, or you don't accept any of it. But it's incomplete, because really, in understanding how we are as African people, we are a holistic people. We don't just deal with half of something. We deal with holistic ideas and values. That's what the African does by nature. We are holistic people. So I just wanted to throw that in there. But go ahead, continue, Brother Stiggz.
Now you dropping it. Now you dropping it. Word up. Not just that like people are coming in with, you know, just with these different things and not understanding what purpose. I think that's a very important word, purpose. I think people are coming into the tradition and treating it like church.
Yes.
Treating it like Christianity.
Because they come out of the church. So all they do is bring the mentality of the church with them when they come into a traditional spiritual system. Yeah.
Right. And they come in with the church aspect. So, and I'm not knocking it. I'm not like trying to like diss anybody because it's a process. We're aware that, you know, we've been warred upon, you know what I mean? And we're cleaning up the debris. All right. We're cleaning up the debris and to go in a little further. Rest in power. Shout out to my man Mackendall. You know what I mean? Because we got to clean house. We have to strategically clean house.
You and I talked about that last night.
We have to strategically clean house without blowing up our spot. We got to find ways to let the house clean itself.
Yeah.
Or it's just so many. It's a deep conversation when it comes to finding ways to clean house as well as, because we don't want to. I was talking to Baba Kokai about it, and he was mentioning how even cleaning house, we don't want to look like we're assisting the enemy, right? Because that's how people look.
Well, it has to happen.
Right. No, I ain't saying it don't have to happen. It just
has to happen.
We can find.
And I talked about it with you last night, and I talked about it with my guest, Baba Marcus Klein, last week. That purge has got to happen in some shape, form, or fashion. It has to happen.
Some form, right?
Some of us are not ever going to get what it is that we have to do in terms of our sovereignty as African people. They're not. They're not going to get it. They're just not going to get it. So if they're not with us in the work that we have to do to become sovereign, you're against us. Even if you didn't determine a side has been determined for you. Because you have said to yourself, I ain't for what y'all about. You know what I mean? And I necessarily didn't say I was about what they're about, but yes, you are. If you're going to sit on the sideline and do nothing, you belong to them. You're not on our side. So a purging or a cleansing amongst us, it's necessary, and it's going to happen in some shape, form, or fashion. Now, the way in which to control how it happens, that's something that we have to continue to strategize and talk about, like you said. But still, as a people, man, some of us, man, and I want you to speak to this too, Baba Adenuma. Some of us, man, aren't going to get it. And so a lot of us think we have this thing where we can save all African people. Brother, I used to think that in my 20s, a long time ago. I am now 50, about to be 51 years old on June the 5th of 2022. Oh, it's about going out here and saving all African people, all Black people. All of us don't want to be saved.
Mm-hmm.
We don't. I'm sorry.
And what goes back to, what is an African?
Go ahead, teach.
What is an African? Because if you don't identify with Africa politically, socially, historically, economically, you're not an African.
Go ahead.
You're not. You shouldn't be qualified to even be called an African. So a good piece that you talked about, we're social people. So when we say a knowledge of self, the word self confuses so many people because they're on this trip of shrines and all of that, because I'm trying to heal myself and heal. No, we heal within community. We don't heal outside community. Healing doesn't happen that way. So I think that we have to discuss that, because people believe that, man, all I have to do is make these sacrifices and this is going to stop you from attacking me. No, you have to understand cultural nationalism. Like we have to understand where we are in space and time. Read Kwame Nkrumah's the book, A Revolutionary Handbook. You have to read those particular books as well to understand what we're up against. It can't just be all spiritual hum, sing songs, bimbe. That is great. No doubt that's a part of the healing. But after that, we got to fight. And we got to use our power. We got to use our spirituality to fight. You have to understand where you are. We are nationalists, and we have to look at ourselves from a national perspective. We can't go outside of that. We're Pan-African. You know, Malcolm became a part of the Pan-African movement. He realized that we have to create a global Pan-African movement in order to save ourselves. There's no way that we can do that without that. But then we have to determine who are our enemies, who are our friends. And we have to look within our own group and say, are you an African? You don't identify with an African. You're not an African. You don't represent this cause. So we got to definitely have a political stance. We have to have a political stance. We cannot deny that. We're at war. So we have to have a political stance and a spiritual stance. When those people in Haiti stood up and fought that revolution, not only were they using their spirituality, but they were also making that spirituality a part of the fight and the liberation. So they actually made it active, right? They work, you got to work this. What they say, the shrines, you got to work them. And if you're not working them, then what are you doing? Right. So this isn't a personal thing. You know, when I think about it, most people on a personal journey, and look at the new spiritual age people, all they're doing, that hum and yoga and sitting down with no liberation. Where's the liberation? Where's that conversation?
I mean, I don't mean to be facetious, but hugging trees ain't, you know, I love nature, but that's not going to liberate African people. Being a tree hugger, okay?
No.
All right. So, let's keep it 100. But go ahead, Bob.
100% right. So I agree totally. And when I came into the tradition, I was already rooted in our great revolutionaries, right? I had to study like I said, Thomas Sankara. I had to study Kwame Nkrumah. I had to go back and say, who are our real revolutionaries that fought for the upliftment and the development of our people? I had to understand. I had to go back and say, what about Gaddafi? What is this about Gaddafi that they hate? What is this popular thing? Even now, our political stance of what's happening in the Ukraine, like our people are totally confused about what is happening because they don't look at ourselves as a nation of people. Like we got to have a national stance and say what is in the best interest of African people. Mahabuti would say, what is in our interest as African people? And we have to discard some things. We have to discard some people. We have to discard some places and build for ourselves because nobody is coming to save us. And I'm not saving everybody. That's a Messianic Yoruba way of thinking. I'm not trying to save everybody. Definitely not. But those who wish to stand on the square and on this journey, come on. And that's the story that is told with the Messiah in Matthew 15:24, when he says, I came to my own, but they received me not. But for many as those that will stand here, to them, they're going to obtain power. So where's the black power? I don't care about Black Lives Matter. I want black power. I want power to determine our destiny and where we're going. That's what we need. And if we're not using this voodoo, Ifa, to do that, then you're on a journey alone and be fine alone. But that's disconnected from our true African heritage.
Facts.
Stiggz.
No, I'm 1,000 with him on that. I you know, like I said, I came into the tradition with a certain mind frame. My feelings was hurt when I went around other people and I saw that they weren't on that. I was just, you know, just like, dang, like what are you doing it for, you know? And I think a lot of people do it for power. They want European power, you know. When I hear
no. Better yet, Stiggz, they want the trappings of what they think is power. That's not power.
Right, not power. Right,
it's not power. Getting a new house on the hill, living next to Urugu and Caucasian. I mean, you know, and goddamn doubles ain't power. Getting going on trips and flying all over the world and jet setting to Paris and London ain't power.
Right.
It's not power.
They got confused. Right. The illusion of power, you know. People, when I hear people, the first thing that if they go to asking me, Orisha this and Orisha that, the first thing, and they not talk about Egungun, ancestors.
Go ahead. Bye. Exactly.
Making a move, you know what I mean? Because we may have a little more conversation because they might not understand, but if they just stuck on that, I got to get away, because if you're not dealing with your ancestors,
go ahead.
You're not dealing with your ancestors first, then you could be led anywhere. You don't want it for what the purpose of it is about, you know. And all of that's so important. And I think that the media plays a major part in it. You know, so I'll come back to music and things like that, because the media is helping push the confusion. The media is helping set these thoughts in people's minds that it's certain stuff is just a certain way. You know what I mean? That you could just, like you said, wish upon a star, tree hug your way out of it. When they love your enemy till they love you back.
No, as I told you last night, many of us think, oh, we can sit down and negotiate, we can reason, we can parlay. You can't parlay with these people.
Right.
It's not gonna happen.
Right.
They have no soul, they got no cock, they have no spirit, they got no body, they got no soul. These people are soulless people. You can't negotiate with them. You cannot rationalize with them. You cannot reason with them. You cannot talk your way to liberation. You cannot talk your way to sovereignty. You can't show them, I got my nationality card. That's like free man papers. They're going to take that nationality card and rip the shit up in front of your goddamn face and say, get the fuck out of my face, nigga. That's what they're going to do. Right. I gotta keep it 100 with you. You cannot reason with them. They have only given you one choice and one choice only. You got to go to war.
No choice but that. Period. And because this whole thing, they warned on us.
Mark behind it.
That's right. We've been warred upon. You know, you're just gonna keep letting them punch you in the face, or we're gonna swing back. You know what I mean? And if you're just sitting, like you were saying earlier, if you're just sitting on the sideline thinking you're gonna love your enemy, the enemies of your ancestors, until they love you back, then you got to get out the way too. That's part of that. You're in the way. You know what I mean? Get out the way or camouflage. I like what Baba Tahir said earlier. Or be the camouflage. You know, guys, you take the grenades, you take the bombs where the real
I'll say what I told you last night on the phone call, and I know you, Baba Adelumo, know this very well. I know we all love this film. The spooky sat by the door, and when Stud, Pretty Willie, and Doodad came in to Dan Freeman's apartment after he had killed Dawson, and he said, "Man, you killed Dawson. That's like me killing Stud or Willie." And Dan Freeman looked at them and said, "You may have to. You, him, or Stud may have to kill what's his name. But if anybody stands between you and freedom, they got to go." And that means anybody. They got to go. It's that serious, man.
It's warfare.
It's that serious, man. And that means your mother, your brother, your dad, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, anybody that stands between you and the liberation and sovereignty of African people. If they're not you, then they're them. If they're not one, if they're them, then they ain't one of us. They got to go.
And that's what we talked about, knowing your history. Look at what happened to Ram. I mean, these were our revolutionaries that went to war. They still have a hold on our brothers that are still locked up because they went to war for our people to protect our interests. And I'm gonna drop this. I can't stay on too much long, but I will say this. This is not about fancy initiations either.
Go ahead.
I don't care how many initiations you have without that Iwa Pele, without doing that work. It doesn't mean anything, because people are coming into the culture, and I'm like, okay, you become the highest of high priests. Like, I'm supposed to bow to you. I bow to Iwa Pele. I bow to the spirit from within, and that's happening. I see that happen often. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I don't need all of that. I don't need to be the crazy initiate with all of these degrees and pots all over that I'm not even taking care of. It's like you cannot even take care of all those pots. It's
Come on now. Yeah.
So we're not on this wave like, yo, you can come in and be Aborisha, get some elekes and live this beautiful life. That's all that's required. No one is asking you for all of this. And this is the perversion of what is happening. People are coming in and they're getting all kinds of initiations, and they don't have the knowledge. They don't have the history, and they can't practice this the right way.
Go
so
ahead.
that's another thing that we got to be careful of. And there's so many babalaos and
talk to it. Let's go. Go there. Go there. Come on.
They don't know what they're doing.
And Baba,
they're giving you
before
false
we end this show, before we close this show, Baba, I said it last week. No, I actually said it 2 weeks ago to Baba Kokai and Mama Nico. Oh, this whole thing. Oh, Orisha's for everybody.
No.
It's for everybody. So it don't matter if you're European or you're Asian or you're Hispanic. The Orishas speak to and answer everybody. No. And I'm saying, hell, excuse my language, hell the fuck no, they don't. No. Because in my mind, in my imagination, the Orisha look like me. Mm-hmm. They speak to and answer to their people, African people. How the hell are they going to answer to you and your ancestors?
Garvey said, where's the black God?
Go ahead.
Where's the black God? That's what Garvey brought us. And Garvey sent us on that journey. Where is the black God? Find who your ancestors are. You will find the divine. So these Orishas are for us, and our way of life is becoming perverted. That's why I say we got to add that layer of protection, and we got to make a stance, a line in the sand. This is who we are. This is for us. This is for African liberation, and we should be able to say that. If you want another form, go over to those other ways of life. That's fine, but don't come here and pervert it and whore it out either. You know, so we got to be clear on that. Who is doing the work? The one that's doing the work is worthy of my reverence. But if you ain't doing the work, I don't care if you got initiated in Nigeria.
Same way.
I don't care about it.
I don't care.
I don't care.
Your work.
If you doing that work, that liberation work, that spiritual work, if you doing that work, you worthy of me bowing down.
Come on with it.
Real talk. That's that. Hey, you dropping it right there. See, you get into the part they don't want to talk about that part, right? They don't want to talk about that part, right? They'll go buy this, they'll buy that. They got mad pots, mad lake age, mad shrines, don't got none of the work, can't work the pots like you were saying. No Iwa Puele. Like, how is your character? How are you moving? How are people receiving you? I don't like all that fancy title stuff. How do you move? How do you enter? Are people happy to see you come? How do they feel when they interact with you, when they leave interacting with you? How do they feel? I don't care how much, because if they feel anything less than alive, liberated, or life, then you are doing the culture a disservice, right? And another thing, I be tight at, I see why they do it, but it's causing confusion. All of these people on the continent sending messages is, if you want to know about life, if you want lotto, if you want money,
the Instagram.
So this is my thing, right? So I be looking at it like, oh man, people will never fall for that, right? That's what I'm thinking. Right.
No,
until I see some people I know, I'm like, oh, like how was you going? How was you even falling for that? Well, they say something like, well, I saw them on TV. They had their screen. They was doing work. They had some of this. They had that. They was doing it. But I'm like, what the? How is like? So even on the continent, right? And they just cashing in. They just
That's all.
Scamming people, man. Look, I tell people all the time.
It's about the Owo. It's all about the Owo.
African cosmology is not to be proselytized. We don't proselytize. We're not missionaries. We don't do that. That's Urugu. We don't do that. So whenever you see someone, I've been sent to you, and all our ancestors work through those that are around you. When they're around, like, you know, I might be going to Oba. I know Oba. So the ancestors can work through me and say, here, send this to Oba. That's how they work. They're not working with somebody I don't even know who you are. So that's scam. And people, and that's what they do. These initiations, fancy initiations, you're paying all of this money, and then you come back home and then you get in contact with somebody who's real, and they're like, I don't know what they did. You got done there. I've seen it. And I'm like, what?
I've grown up in this tradition. I know it.
I've seen it all.
Oh, I've seen it time and time and time again. People getting had, used, hoodwinked, bamboozled, and just robbed out of their money.
Out of all
nothing
their
was done
bread.
for them. They're no better today before they got initiated than what they are tomorrow after they get initiated. They're still, matter of fact, they just got they're a lot broker than what they were the day before. That's all. They got less money in their pocket.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say is I love the tradition.
Gotcha.
Whether you are Lukumi, whether you are Sheshe, whether you're Santeria, Kondoble, Voodoo, I don't care. I don't care what you use for divination. I don't care because our ancestors had to use whatever was available. So this kind of infighting has to cease. And I respect it all. If I go to a house that is Santeria, if I go to a house that is of a different, then I can go and appreciate what their practice is. And we have to work like that because we are one community, right? Whether you look for me or you're Cuban, it's cool. Like we can't get into the nitty-gritties of, oh, you use this and I use that. Like it's cool. It's cool because some of our ancestors did not have access to other things. So we got to realize that as well. And I see some infighting on that. Well, this is not, when I did, and I want to announce this, Orisha Soul movie is coming out in May, right?
Yeah.
We're doing the premiere in Garvey City. And
I was going to add that, yes.
Intentionally, what I did was I have Shango Baptist, I have Isheshe, I have Lukumi, I had a little bit of, so you'll see, for instance, the beginning scene, you'll see Legba or Eshu in 3 different forms. So what I tried to do is build something where people can't say, that's not real because a piece of me isn't in it. Yes, a piece of you is in it. A piece of them is in it. Like we're bringing all of these houses together and saying this beautiful tradition manifests itself in so many different ways, but it's really one. And it depends on where you were when we were captured and brought. Some of us were in Jamaica, some of us were in Cuba, some of us were in the United States of America, and depending on where you are would dictate your practice. So what I said was, let's bring those houses together. So you'll see Eshu, you'll actually see there was a sister from Philly who came down and she danced for Papa Legba, straight up voodoo. So we have that. Then we have the Lukumi version of Eshu, and then we have a Sheshe version of Eshu. So that to me was what I envisioned in my mind is let's bring all of this together. You know what I mean? You see Kulu Mele dancing in this. I mean, we have the African drum ensemble. They're here. So we brought so much culture together. I can't wait to share this, brothers.
That sounds exciting. That sounds exciting.
Before we get out of here, Baba, from both of you all and everything like that, and definitely Stiggz, definitely I want you to share some last,
Stiggz, hit me up, man. Let's do this collab, bro.
Rick, I'm gonna keep it real, Rick. I got like 3 or 4 that I don't
Before y'all get in that collab thing, because see, I took out this idea in my mind of forming this super group between you, Tahir, Baba Rich, and you, Stiggz. You know I talk about it all the time. But anyway, Baba Rich, musically, what are you working on? How can people get in touch with you? And definitely, what are some of the things you got coming up as far as shows is concerned? Because you got a big show coming up.
Yeah, I got a big show coming up in Garvey City on April the 23rd. I will be at the Christina Cultural Arts Center, and that's a art center that I teach at. And our African children are there, and we're giving them the traditions, we're giving them the culture. Shout out to Mama Gina as well. I work side by side with her. She's another facilitator that we brought in for our Culture Restoration Project, our nonprofit. And this EI has been in the tradition for over 20 years. So she brings that experience. So we brought her in, and she's working with us. I'm full-time for the organization. So, we are doing this on April 23rd. It's a different show for me. I am doing just the history of Black music. So you're going to see us perform some George Clinton, Marvin Gaye, De La Soul. It's going to be an amazing show. Then after that, we're doing Weedstock on April the 30th. Then I'm going to announce this. It's in the preliminary stages, but July 15th in Garvey City, I will be opening up for Femi Kuti.
Oh, get out of here. You know I'm there.
We moving, bro. We
You
moving.
know I'm there. You
Yes.
know I'm there. You
So
know
in
I'm there.
Juneteenth, actually, I think they're doing Juneteenth. We decided we weren't going to do Juneteenth at Rodney Square this year because the city is doing a whole different event. There was like some clash, and so I decided to join with my sister. You know, at the art museum, I'm going to join her because she requested me. She's bringing Cyrock down, and we had a conversation, and I said, let me, you know, let's link it up. You know what I mean, and bring the energy there as much as we can. So I'll be over there with her for Juneteenth, and much more. But and the biggest thing though is the album Orisha Soul's coming. That's coming, and then the movie. I mean, the movie. You'll see a trailer very soon, and I think you brothers. It brought tears to my eyes seeing this movie. It was so much work. So many EFI practitioners came through to bless. So we hope to do it again. We hope to do a part 2. And definitely, I'll bring y'all on. I try to get Oba. I try to get you. I think
I know, man. And so much was going on, Baba. But I will definitely, once you start making part 2, I'm on board, Baba.
Yes,
you know, I'm on board, Baba. I'm on board.
Thank you for having me, brother. I really appreciate it. Stiggz, send me whatever you have, bro.
Yeah.
Let's link it up. Let's do this. I'm also about to work on a song. I want Stiggz on it. I'm gonna get Ogunlano. My brother Ogunlano.
Baba Ogunlano.
Yes. Of course, Tahir. And then there's a brother out, a Wolfhawk Jaguar.
Wolfhawk Jaguar out of Oakland. Yep.
And his wife. So I'm thinking I want to do this super song.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And then figure out how we can do a video. Like I'm thinking like we need to do like songs with each other and then link up like for 2-3 days somewhere and just do videos for them. You know what I mean? Let's get a beach house. And like, let's make this happen and do something like that's immaculate and amazing. I'm with it.
Baba, thank you. I'm just like I said, you're welcome back on the War Report anytime. I know I'm gonna have you back, but Baba, it's been great. It's been wonderful. Give my love to EI. Give my love to Orisha. Give my love to the new the new baby boy or baby girl on the way.
We're having another girl.
Oh,
hey, congratulations!
A little sister. Okay,
little sister. That's right.
Yeah, you know I love y'all, man. I love y'all, and we'll be in touch soon. And I'm definitely gonna be there at that Fela Kuti show. But I'll be at the other one at Christiana as well. So.
Oh, word up. Oh, you gonna love this, bro. You gonna love. Hey, Stiggz, send me the joints, man. Let's get this rolling. It's been too long. I know we talked about it, but let's just do it. Let's let the spirit lead us, man. Whatever you got, man, send me, man. Let's get on it, cause we got shows. It's getting hot, so we got to be able to. When I'm at there, like, yo, you got that joint? Let me jump on it. Like, so
let's go.
Right here, dude. We here together. We doing these songs together. So you know what I mean? Let's go.
I say we give thanks. Yes, I'm with it.
Yeah.
Another thing, I'm gonna call you because I'm ready to set up some tours, some dates, you know, playing with a couple dollars, and let's push the movement. We got work to do, you know what I'm saying? From down south to up north all the way, and let's just keep it pushing and then bring that 1,000-man army and give them a doffers. We make sure everybody. Hey, you know, gonna read you when you come in. You know what I mean? If you read wrong, you go right out the door. If you could, you know, we'll do it like that. Some could stay, some can't. You know. Far as I go, I have. What you gonna say?
No, I'm saying like what you got going on, Baba. You know, got any? As
far as I go, for those who just came in, matter of fact, I see my man Tiki Magic Lion out of Lagos. I see you in here, my brother. You know, shout out to him. I got a project that I just did called Frequency 3333 The Antidote. That's Frequency 3333 The Antidote. That's my joint. If anybody get a chance, go check it. It's a playthrough, and you know it's putting in some heavy groundwork for what's to come. I have a project coming this summer called Orisha Street Hop. I'm interested in having enough features. Obviously, I got gonna have Rich on there, Baba Tahir. I already got a track with Wise Intelligent. looking to do
we're trying to get with Cyrock.
Yep, trying to get with Cyrock. That'd be dope to be able to get up with her when she's in Delaware. And because I'm definitely interested in getting up with Cyrock, and because I got looking to have some feminine energy. You know what I mean? This has been top heavy with males, and and women are so important to the movement and the growth. And a lot of times, some people leave them out. So on my project, I'm really looking forward to getting her, as well as other ladies on the project. I do have a documentary that's being worked on. Hopefully this will be the last weekend to be able to do any type of filming of behind the scenes work for my documentary. And that's about it. Orisha Street Hop this summer. Maybe shout out to Knowledge Born. We'll be able to bring back Orisha Street Hop in the morning. We ran that for a minute, and I'm here to do the work. I'm here to answer the call. I'm here to make it happen. Represent Egbe LA Goon. Represent for my people, my African folks. Liberate our minds, and let's make it happen. And Rich, we about to make some fire. Like I got some joints already. Like I be watching you from a distance, so I'm like, man, I got some ideas. I got some great ideas.
Yeah, I'm with it.
I love y'all both. Thank you all for being my guest this week. Can't forget about Baba Tahir, RBG. You can check out all these brothers' videos and things online on YouTube. Stiggz just told you about his albums and everything. His album, his debut EP, Frequency 3333, The Antidote. Baba Rich, where can people get a hold of your entire catalog, which I am proud to say I have every album?
Word up. So just richardraw.com. You could go there, and Orisha Soul is coming very, very, very soon. 10 tracks. I put a snippet up of a track that I just did.
Yes, you did.
Agoon, Love Me Agoon.
Yeah.
And I think you're gonna love. It's a different album. You know what I mean? It's more like what would I say? It's more like Afrobeat. It's more vocals and melody, but it's hard. It hit hard about our Agoon and ancestors. I'm real excited about that. And then after that, we're gonna get back into some of this hardcore. You know what I mean? We giving them volumes. Right? We giving different volumes of our music.
As well as Baba Tahir is finishing up on his project. Look out for it very, very soon. It's called It's a Lifestyle, talking about the lifestyle of those of us who are Isheshe worshipers, who practice Orisha voodoo and tradition. So he's finishing up on that, and it should be out very, very soon. So all these brothers got projects coming, as well as projects that are already out. And, stay up on them. I love y'all, brothers. I'm gonna let y'all go. But we'll talk soon. All right.
Okay.
B48. So there you have it. You heard from both my brothers, Richard Raw and Stiggz, as well as Tahir RBG. I'm just so grateful to have them tonight, and I hope you all enjoyed the program. Once again, for all of you who have been watching, have been going back and watching some of the old episodes of the War Report, continue to support the War Report. At bottom of your ticker, Cash App right there. $sign OBGod7, $OBGod7, and continue to support all the great programming here at DTKR. Do the Knowledge Radio by going to either Cash App or PayPal via PayPal. On Cash App, it is $sign Knowledge Born Allah. Once again, that is $sign Knowledge Born Allah. And on PayPal, it is paypal.me/Do the Knowledge Radio. Once again, it is paypal.me/Do the Knowledge Radio. And do not forget, mark it down in your calendars. I'm sure we will have all three brothers, Baba Tahir RBG, Richard Raw, and Stiggz to be a part of the 18th annual African Independence Day Maya celebration. 2022 at Malcolm X Memorial Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, located at 52nd and Pine Streets from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. We will start at 10 a.m. with our traditional African do-for-self Junkanoo Parade at the corner of 52nd Arch Streets, as we will process our way through Black West Philadelphia down 52nd Street, one of the main thoroughfares in West Philadelphia, to the site of Malcolm X Park on the corner of 52nd and Pine Streets. Information to come in the weeks to come as we get up our website once again, which is AfricanIndependenceDay.org, African spelled AFRAKAN, independenceday.org. You can also hit us up if you are interested in vending. If you are a performer and would like to perform, definitely submit information where you have any kind of film footage of your performances. We want cultural performers. We want cultural vendors. We have an African marketplace. We'll have activists and speakers, as we usually do, and culturally conscious artists in various different forms of music. We will also have Universal African Dance and Drum Ensemble, world renowned, with us as we are planning things for this year's 18th annual African Independence Day Mayat celebration 2022. It's going to be big. It's going to be stupendous. We've been online. We've done it virtually the last 2 years right here on Do the Knowledge Radio, and now we are ready to return home to Malcolm X Memorial Park in West Philadelphia, 52nd and Pine Streets, for our 18th annual edition of African Independence Day. 18 years. We are completely sovereign in terms of us not getting any money from the city, from the state, from white-owned or white-ran corporations. We do it from the muscle. We ask that the community support this great cultural event, which is now beginning to be known throughout the country, as Philadelphia is becoming a destination on the first Saturday in the month of August since 2004 for the African Independence Day Mayat celebration. So we will have more information on it in the weeks to come. You can call our number at 215-521-1544. Once again, that is the official African Independence Day number, 215-521-1544. And hit us up on Gmail at africanindependenceday@gmail.com for anybody who is interested in vending, for anybody who's interested in performing or speaking at African Independence Day for this year. And it is going to be brought to you by, of course, the African Independence Day Organizing Committee, Be Mayat Production, Be Mayat Incorporated, and Urban Shaman Productions. Shout out to my brothers, Brother Farouk Mayat, Brother Kamul Haru, and Brother Sabor Malik Khan, who I hope are watching this program. So we will leave you once again, and we will return to you same black time, same black channel here in the war zone, on the front lines, on ground zero. We will return to you once again on the War Report with yours truly, Oláyínká, next week, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Do the Knowledge Radio. Abibi Fohodie, Abibi Tumi, Kujiti Wala, Odabo. We will see you next week. We out. Black Power.
Once you've heard the madness, everything else is just cheap whiskey.
Most high Christmas, mental abolitionists with the vision gift, seeing the deliverance from the ignorance, cognitive dissonance. Visual, I envision this. On and off the mic, I speak right like this is what the mission is. I know the wisdom biz and overstand like who, no one bear that witnesses. I am the power refined, God man. Equity too high to equal the caveman. God's son, true builder of the land. Destroyer of the demons, I'm a poppin' where they stand. Word of biz, born exposing, oppose a plan. Stevie Benny, microphone Jones with a forced hand. The next level cipher writer, spark the minds, I light the fire. Call me Mr. Mystifier, I'm used to gift and lift us higher. With the frequency that frequently fit, inspire. Elders and young thugs that do what they do, where they do what they thumbs. We think they lazy, they think we dumb. We put the work in system that a system to be numb. Make them good Christians, but don't link them to where they from. So I write rhymes with them ancient guidelines. I fight crime sitting on the sidelines. But when they got the blind eyes, I just treat them like they dumb.
When dollars get done, unified we're one. The race we run, before they shot them gun.
To the knowledge.
When dollars get done, unified we won. The race we run, before they shot them gun.
Knowledge. One's not with me. Twist your loud, get your double shots of yak. Sit down, have a talk with me. I'm from an era where certain shit just couldn't fly. You tell another man, suck your dick, you might die. These new dudes got it confused, thinking it's a game. Until somebody hitting at their ass, bringing the pain. But that's the plan, they want us to kill ourselves. Our existence is up to us, no one else is responsible for raising our daughters and the queens and our sons and the kings. Teaching them everything about necessary tools we need to use for survival. It's way bigger than reading Qurans or the Bible. That's gonna go over the heads of many. Thick skin, homie, I got plenty. So I'll be ready for the backlash and slander coming from my own people. It's sad to say, but we'll never equal our full potential as long as we following what they teach us. Telling lies, all in 8 books, it never reach us. At least us, the ones with some knowledge of self. But trying to wake my people up is a struggle itself. Instead of begging for a seat at their table, let's build one. As soon as they try to violate, let's kill one. That's where my heart at. A couple 100 years of the same treatment gave us Obama, so we think we even. I ain't believing none of this bullshit them puppeteers speaking, telling us lies each and every weekend. Banana in the tailpipe tactics. To tell the truth, I feel we moving backwards. We got a lot of actors playing the part, but it ain't in their heart, so what's it worth? Got brothers dressing up like chicks toting the purse. Everybody capitalizing off us. We ain't too far from giving up our seat on the back of the bus.
When dollars get done, unified we're one. The race we run, before they shot that gun.
To the knowledge.
When dollars get done, unified we won. The race we run, before they shot that gun.
To the knowledge.
They wanna tell us that they made us, stripped away our culture and enslaved us. We survived through the worst time, and they did their best to break us. We played a game, but the game rigged. Now we woke and got our own shit. Everything was all good when we was worthless. Now they mad cause I got a God complex. I got a God complex. Now they mad cause I got a God complex. It was all good when we was worthless. Now they mad cause I got a God complex. A born deity, swag of a king, extension of the Most High, getting this bag for the team. Hover above all, they want me to have humility. Them same folks out here trying to suppress my ability. Spit divine words that manifest in the physical. So when I say I am money, homie, it be spiritual. Get it in this lifetime and shine in the next one. Never let nobody make you feel guilty about your blessing. Yes, I got a God complex. Now they mad cause I got a God complex. It was all good when we was worthless. Now they mad cause I got a God complex. I got a God complex. Now they mad cause I got a God complex. It was all good when we was worthless. Now they mad cause I got a God complex.
See, I am the eternal sun walking the earth. Not a man, but I am that God that gave him birth. See, my womb is the gateway I bleed. Every month for Ashe, I'll be damned if you tell me what I am worth. Supreme being is mother, oracle and seers. Time to go to the Egun and ask the spirit to lead us. Medicine woman, our world is really sick and need healing. So now we welcome the divine in our spirit. Asheo.
I got a God complex. Now they mad cause I got a God complex. It was all good when we was worthless. Now they mad cause I got a God complex.
Melanated, they make it so complicated, and now we separated cause they tell us we're minorities. But we the Haitians, Jamaicans, even some Latins and Asians, some Cubans and Mexicans, we are majority.
Yeah, they call us witches cause magic is what we conjuring. Took and turned our words into spells and now we under it. Some won't acknowledge our power to the apocalypse. Unleash it on the world and send them packing on rocket ships.
Yeah, heart of a lion, land of the dead and dying. My bag is about that garden, my swag about ancient knowledge and tapping into them. Message from a pendulum, ancestors saying that it's time for the world to see it.
See, they wanna be it. We got the sands of time. Our DNA filled with to medicate the mind. We demonstrate divine powers that can open portals. They fear us cause ye are gods amongst mere mortals. They wanna tell us that they made us.